So we're continuing our journey through Yellowstone National Park.
Another amazing day.
That's right. My name is Nash.
I'm Shahar.
And this is Buying Nature TV. We're a mother-daughter duo, and we're here to show you amazing things.
Yes, especially how nature can nurture your business. Today, we are going to talk about roughness.
That's right. Enjoy. It was a quiet and peaceful night in August 17th, 1959. Behind me slept a 79-year-old lady in her cabin enjoying the beautiful summer night. Along with her, dozens of other people just camping out here right next door to Yellowstone National Park. All of a sudden, one of the biggest earthquakes ever recorded in the history of North America, 7.5 on the Richter scale, hit, and life changed as it was. The mountain came down in about 8 seconds. A new lake, things started shaking, tons of people were buried and died, and a new lake was formed. Earthquake Lake. Talk about having it rough.
Take a look at the Earthquake Lake. This lake is 4 miles long now and 120 feet deep. What you see here really are the top of the trees that used to be part of this forest. When the mountain came down, crashed the dam at the Madison River, and this lake was formed.
Imagine the earth shaking beneath your feet, the world in utter chaos, and the mountain behind you collapsing. That's 8.5 million tons of dirt that collapsed that night. That's enough dirt to build a roadway, a two-way highway from here, Montana, all the way to New York. But now, this change that has occurred, yes, it was rough. But when we look at the trees in those waters and we realize that they now provide nesting for the birds, for the wildlife, for the eagles, for the ospreys, it reminds us of the good things that can come from the rough chaos.
Love my carrots.
Yummy.
Yeah, but I have to tell you something.
What?
After such a long time, I think I'm ready for some animal style fries.
Great idea, Shahar. I think I'll have my burger mustard fries.
You know, if you don't know, these two items are in the secret menu of a fast food chain. Well, the funny thing is lately, other fast food chains started having their own secret menus. Even McDonald's has one now, right? You might be thinking, oh, maybe this is a fad, but actually there is very cool reason for that. Actually, more than one reason. The very first one is that the brain cannot cope with an unanswered question. That's the reason, for example, you don't know the formula for Coke or the recipe for a KFC chicken. You know, doesn't matter really if the people have access to those formulas or not. The mystery around it creates an aura that you have to be hooked to that product. So it has been used in marketing for many years. But the secret menu does a little bit more than that. It makes you belong to that secret society that knows that secret menu. So you feel special, you feel you belong. Belonging is very important for the human beings. It's actually on the top of the Maslow pyramid. We want to belong. And when I know about a secret menu and you know about a secret menu and other people don't, that makes us belong to that VIP group, creates more loyalty and keeps us with that brand. And that's the reason that some fast food chains now are also coming up with some secret menus, like I said recently with McDonald's. Now you have to ask yourself, how can you create some type of ritual or mystery in your business that will generate that loyalty, that special feeling of a VIP club that not everybody else belongs, because that's going to change how your customers perceive your business. So let's keep eating the carrot.
What?
Carrot?
This carrot was so crunchy. I didn't hear a word of what you said. Imagine temperatures of -66 degrees. That's how cold it gets here in Yellowstone, and sometimes even colder than that. It's very, very, very tough, so cold, so frigid. It's not many animals actually can withstand that cold weather. But the bison, as you can see behind me, they're one of those animals that do survive if they're lucky. They have to go through a treacherous process, but a lot of them do make it through the winter. You know, if you look at the way that they're built, you notice this big, massive head and this hump. Those are muscles that they have here that they actually use as snowplow to make them to walk themselves through the snow so that they can move from where they are to the plateau where they can find a bounty of food. The problem though is that even though that makes sense in theory, the thing is the snow gets as high as they do, and so it's so tough. I mean, if you've tried walking through snow, you know that it's a difficult and it takes a lot of your energy, and that wouldn't normally be an issue had they had food to eat and provide them the energy that they need. But the problem is that everything is covered with snow, so it's hard for them to find food. So what they'll do is they'll go to the areas where there isn't as much snow, such as the geysers, because of the heat it tends to melt. But then what happens is they'll start grazing on the grass around the area. Well, there's arsenic there, and so now they're poisoning themselves. Now, if they can get through that, the other issue that they encounter is the vegetation that they eat in that area has silica, which in turn will rot their teeth. And so it's such a process for them simply to be able to survive during this winter that lasts months and is so cold beyond everything else. So I thought I'd share that with you because wow, if they make it through, what a process that they had to endure so that they could find the plateau, find the food, and then enjoy, and then have the babies, and then it's a happy life. But up till then, it was very rough.
Since we are talking about rough, let's also talk about rudeness. It's important for you to understand that rudeness sparkles revenge in the brain. And when it comes to your business, you do not want that, because that can cause a lot of bad PR and problems for you. So every time you, for example, get a bad comment on Facebook, you get a bad review, maybe a nasty email, handle that with care. Never ever be rude. Take action if necessary to fix what happened, and never be afraid of saying I'm sorry. People are very forgiving as long as you acknowledge the problem. So say that something went wrong if it did, that you're sorry and you're going to take some type of action to fix that. But never ever be rude. Remember, rudeness sparkles revenge, and revenge is very bad for your business.
Did you know that a beaver can swim half a mile underwater only with one gulp of air?
You know, one thing that always amazes me is how nature combines different textures. You know, just in this patch that we have the stones, we have wood, the water, the sound of the water bringing depthness to the environment. It's just unbelievable, and they go so well. They create the experience that will actually last with me probably for many, many years. When you're writing copy for marketing your business, you need to think about a concept called texture metaphors. You always want to use words that convey texture, because texture will also convey experiences. Okay, so for example, let's suppose you're writing a sales letter and you want to say, so are you tired of having a bad day? It would be much better for you to say, are you tired of having a rough day? See? Or, this is such a good work. Instead you could use, this is such a fruitful work. You see? Bring texture to the stories, and remember, always be telling stories. Because you bring depthness, you bring experiences in the mind of that consumer. They understand what rough is. It may be a patch full of rocks, it may be a dirty road, it may be something in the past, it doesn't matter, but conveys experience. So when you're writing, think about this. One little word from bad to rough can change the results you're going to have in your sales letter, in your brochures, in any material that you use copy. Boy, it was a long day. It's time to grab some grub and hit the hay. Don't I sound American now? Cool. But before I go, I want to tell you one more thing. When you have to print prices, always try to do it without the dollar sign. You know, research has shown that people will buy more if they don't see the dollar sign. Also, use simple fonts with simple descriptions so you don't confuse them at all. Unless you're selling an expensive item, then you want to use more intricate fonts with a longer description. But in both cases, avoid the dollar signs and avoid the decimals as well. Okay, good.